Alright, all looking good. Stream seems stable. I'm on screen. And this one is probably going to be a just for me stream, maybe. Just dip the music out. Let's just jump straight into the game. And that counter is way wrong. Let's reset that back to 0. I think I already have 1. I'm going to check my boxes. So the whole goal of this is to catch, or hopefully finish the challenge. I am going to swap my preview so I can see the whole game. There we go. It's going to be worse for the video, but better for me. Yeah. Okay, so I've got 1 Alcremie form. 1 Alcremie form, 1 Milcery. And I need 63. Because by my count, it is 7 sweets and 9 forms. 7 times 9 is 63. I am not going for shinies. So let's see what method I want to go with. I've got 2 in mind. One of them is just straight up catching. I should probably check if I got Pokeballs first. Tons. Yeah. Perfectly fine. So I'm going to try and catch them first. I know they're a lower encounter rate. If not, I might just end up breeding. But, ayo. There's one straight off. I don't think they got any moves that can kill them. Like, do recoil damage. Not that you can see the health anyway. Two. 3. And there's the first quarter of the stream. If I was clicked into my counter window, there we go. Just got to do 61 more like that. And that'll be good. Although I may just end up breeding them at some point if it goes slow. I'm just avoiding doing that because it's gonna... Since doing all the breeding BDSP, I know it's just gonna be a pain. And it's a bit of a slog, like just mentally draining. But they don't seem to be showing up too bad. And I think if they appear at a decent rate, it's actually faster than hatching. And I know I don't have to worry about gender because they're 100% female. Because this is literally the home straight for the Alcremie forms. No worries, Majora. I need to finish Tears of the Kingdom, to be honest. I've only done the first dungeon. Cheers. Hopefully at some point do this. I get a shiny one. Maybe. Good luck with Tears of the Kingdom, by the way. That is... not what I want. I am so anticipating that I'm going to have to go into the breeding, and I really don't want to. Although technically I'd have higher odds of getting a shiny. That's tempted me. Not going to lie. Oh, it really... I said the odds, and it would be nice to get at least one. Considering I think through the whole challenge so far, like it was offline, but I recorded it. I did find another shiny. Which is kind of ridiculous. And I think if I'm right, eggs go into boxes in this game. Can't remember. That might be right. And then if I get something with like flame body at the start of the party. I mean, there's another Milcery. That did take a while. And did I forget to count? Am I doing the same thing as Safari Week again and forgetting to count them? I think potentially yes. Uno, due, tre, and cut. Let's see how many in my team. 2 are in my team, so at least 3, and I think that was a 4th. Just check the team. Yep. So there's 4 so far, and I think I did sway myself. I think I am gonna breed. So that was a nice short little detour, I guess. But time for the most monotonous. What is there? Yeah, that's Route 5. That's where I want to go. Time for the most monotonous part. Do I leave it with you? Yeah. They swapped it, so it's always out here. And it is already a ditto in there. And then preemptively, I'm going to come in and... None of these will have it. No. Water absorb. Any of these? Flash fire? I can't remember specifically if it is, but a flame body for definite. So let's go with Volcarona. Hey, what's going on, Raymonds? Yeah, I'm now trying to flesh it out more from the Living Dex by getting all the Alcremie that I ended up missing towards the end of... I forgot what Gen 8. Gen 8. The original Dex before I went for like the bonus round. So I want to say you caused a good time, but I'm now just into a load of breeding and the boring bit. That's probably going to get cut out of the video or like rarely skimmed over. Which I don't know why I'm going all the way down this way. Quarter. How many have I got left? 63. So I've got 59 left. So just, I guess, strap in for the ride of... It's basically the Caterpillar roller coaster ride. It's a ride by definition. It's not invigorating by experience. If that makes any sense. But hopefully I am on the home straight for this. So it might mean another video hopefully coming out soonish. Especially since I'm on that like 1000 creep. I'm so close to partnership. I'm gonna try. I haven't actually got a nice idea for filling out the gender variations. That would make an interesting video, but maybe. Definitely for the Alcremie forms. It's already been interesting on and off streams. And just for me in general, like I've started recording differently so I can edit in a bit more of a fun way. Which, considering that's what I did for university, like literally edit and post-production for video. If I can make that bit interesting, I'm fully invested. Just the bits where it's a slog like this, it's painful and mind-numbing, and I'm going to find a way to entertain myself. Because actually why I started streaming in the first place, and doing the Living Dex bits. Like, I was just doing it as a personal challenge. Then I started streaming it, and then I had the idea to make the video afterwards. It did not start in that way in the slightest. But the fact that I had the streams and I I just had them recorded and archived, and I could edit them together. Somehow ended in the video, which is done really well. Just completely by accident. Go through the VODs at your own peril. Trust me. They're really not the most interesting. Jeez, there was tons of time put into it. And I think I could only get maybe like 5 minutes done a night because I was that pedantic with every bit, trying to be like, it's got to be perfect. And then at the end, I was just like, it's just got to be good enough. Yeah, I saw some people have said, just leave it. Oh, not some people. I think Bud in particular, someone who usually pops in, just leaves it in the background running. Just as like white noise. Which I love stuff like that. It's kind of like TV shows, like you know what's going on. Hey, what's up, Orange? Stuff like what are my go-to shows for that kind of stuff? It's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Friends, and I love a good bit of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's a good go-to just because it's like 13 seasons long. The longer the better, because you don't have to like then find a new show to watch when you've got through all 5 seasons. And usually I do actually watch a lot of Twitch VODs. Usually just if I know the person's interested or like similar likes, that kind of thing. Or just if they got an interesting point of view, to be fair. Yeah, I'm just sad Brooklyn Nine-Nine isn't getting like renewed, sadly. Although my other binge show is Futurama, and that's getting renewed on Hulu. So I'm happy that I've got more episodes of that to watch. And at the same time, really apprehensive. Because I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough, because I love how they finished Futurama. And if you haven't seen it already, watch it. Jeez. I wouldn't call it a Cusack accent, but yeah, sure. Just on Futurama again. Really, like, random thing that popped up the other day, and I ended up just watching them. Someone doing a series, overthinking every episode. And it's so good to watch all, like, the little references. Like, the first episode, the fact that they thought they were enough, also, other alchemy. The fact that they thought to put Nibbler's shadow in the first episode. Like, they were thinking way ahead. And there's where I double check my counting. So this is 6. 1 in the daycare. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm counting right. Kind of, yeah. Like, obviously, they've already seen it. So it is a retrospective, but they're taking it one episode at a time and explaining them, like, in depth. It is bizarre. Yeah. When you watch it after you've seen the whole thing and realise everything that they were hinting towards. And some things that they just hadn't thought of. So one thing that the guy constantly brings up, and I hate that I can't remember his channel name because it was so good. But the fact that it's how they pronounce the word ask. It's like ask is like an archaic pronunciation that they don't use anymore, and it's always axe. So he just has like a little mispronunciation counter in the corner for every time they say ask instead of axe. Which, thinking about it now, I don't know if they ever stick to. I definitely think later on they probably did, but also probably just avoided using the word in general. Which, actually, I can't remember when the new episodes come out. They must be coming out soon, right? Oh, no, I can't remember for the life of me. Also, how many boxes have I got to fill? I'm not trying to remember. Let's try and do some quick maths. It's not going to go right. It's not going to go good. Definitely not going to go good. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 times 5 is 30. I've got to fill 2 boxes and 3, which I've actually started. 1 box too short if I'm going to make it nice and neat. So let's shove all of these into box 24. Yeah, it's been picking up on, at least my YouTube suggested. Probably just because I love to binge or stuff like that. I love a good bit of trivia. But yeah, it's been definitely picking up in suggestions, so it must be soon. It's actually... if I had more hands so I could get to a keyboard, I would. But right now both hands are on this to keep track of Alcremie and doing circles. Yeah, and depending on the time of day you spin and how long you spin, depends on what Alcremie you get. So far, the other stream, I got most of the sweets, and then off stream, I collected a ton of watts and got more wishing pieces, so then I could get the last of the rarer sweets. So, if I go through my bag, where are they? Further down, further down, further down. There they are. Yeah, 9 strawberry, 9 love, 9 berry, 9 clover, 9 flower, 9 star, 11 ribbon. So yeah, I've got all the sweets, and I've just got to collect all the Alcremie now to spin with them. What do you need to explain? Ironically, that White 2 is the only game I haven't played. Is it the whole concept of this challenge, or like the forms needs explaining? Is that it? What is an Alcremie? So Alcremie is an item Pokemon that people tend to hate. It is an ice cream. It has shit tons of forms, to put it lightly. Oh god, no, it's doing this. It has 63 forms altogether. If you give Milcery that I'm hatching now a sweet and spin with it, which I'm going to have to hatch all these eggs to show you the spin. Thankfully, if they don't have a sweet, they won't evolve. Is that all of them? 3 more. It's going to be, yeah. Yeah, so if you spin with them, I've noted these down. So, for example, if I want a vanilla cream version of Alcremie, I have to spin. It has to hold a sweet. And I hope you're still following this. Hold a sweet, spin clockwise for more than 5 seconds during the day, and it'll go to a specific form. And there are 9 forms of it. And there are also 7 variants of those separate forms. And then, like Graham saying, if you go for the shinies, you then just, you're adding pain on top of that. Which, annoyingly, they do count all the forms as shinies. Why is this last egg not going? They do count all the forms, but the creams don't look different because the cream always looks black. So people technically don't count them. And leaf green. I think right now 1010 with the extra. So 1008 actually in the decks, but they released 2 more, Live and Wake and Iron Leaves, with the, technically they're gonna be in the DLC decks, but we're not, or at least I'm not sure for sure, if that makes sense. That's also, now that I've got these out, the whole spin mechanic thing. So you spin like this, and this, depending on whether you do it clockwise, counterclockwise, more than 5, less than 5, more than 10, and the time of day depends on the alchemy form you get. Yeah, only mentally ill people would collect that many, so heyo, you're welcome to have me. I still want to play Colosseum, and I've now got kind of half the setup. I just need to get my Wii from my parents. So, and then actually buy a copy of Colosseum. That might be useful. Because I've still got one of the Wiis with the built-in GameCube compatibility and the controllers and that. Can't remember how to... The unique Pokemon... I'm trying to remember what one you mean. Like, if you spell it wrong, I'll probably get it. But I can't remember specifically what one you mean by that. Yeah, I mean, if I play through Colosseum, I'd probably still want to collect every possible Pokemon, because if you couldn't tell, I've got like a completionist mindset when I play games. Yeah. And also, like I mentioned in one of my shorts, I want to go and get like the rare Pokemon, so I'd end up doing like the equivalent to the Battle Tower. I forget what it is, but to get the Ho-Oh, like go through all 50 levels of that, I think it is, and also getting the purified Shadow Lugia. Yeah, that Ho-Oh you got orange is one of the ones I want to add into my Living Dex. Yeah, that'd probably be... Well, I'm just trying to think. So I could put it technically, because they come down to the... Not the DS games, but like... I think it was the Leaf Green generation or something like that. Or maybe third generation. Like any of those games. You can bring it down to that and then take them up to fourth generation and then do that whole DS cycle up to Pokemon Home. Because they'd just be straight into that, pretty much. Because it's the final destination for everything. Where everything just goes to sit for probably years. And just means that I have to pay for... I forget what it is now. It's just a payment that comes out for me to have Pokemon Bank now, so I don't lose all my Pokemon. Because they're holding them hostage. And God, it is getting warm in this room straight away. I'm getting there almost to halfway. I'm just going to... I need to double check if I'm counting these right. 6, 12, 13, 14. I'm missing one, 15. 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, got you know, that's a unique one. Yeah, yeah. The original form of Gina for doing the Living Dex in home. Oh, yeah. Magina and Meganium. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together for that one. Yeah, it is worth it. I'm not sure you've actually got to get all of the Gen 9 Pokemon for that, because I was really annoyed when I put all the Gen 9 Pokemon in and I got nothing extra. I think it is only up to Gen 8. Honestly, they look complicated. They're really not. They may be some of the most dumbed down versions of them. Like, the last game you played, you said, was White 2. That had, like, rotation battles and everything, and they were way more complex. Even you had the Battle Royale in Sun and Moon, and that was more complex than some of the stuff in the Switch games. Like, they stripped it all back and took all what I'd say is the fun stuff out. I actually love triple battles and rotation battles, because they made you have to think. And it was nice to have to think about, like, where a Pokemon was and that kind of thing. Even the grinding got interesting, because you could grind 3 Pokemon at once. And I think it was a battle cafes in X and Y. But you had to think for grinding them which Pokemon were going to come out, and you'd eventually memorize them and have a good setup for it. And it just made grinding a bit more interesting and kept you involved. Yeah, you're definitely better sooner rather than later because, you know, Game Freak just hates any of the fans. Let's swap these out. Like, I can't remember because I know you could get original form Magina. I want to say before Gen 8. But I'm not sure if they made it so it was only anything up to Gen 7 that you had to get. Because I just dumped them all in at once. Because I was doing my own little challenge. Little challenge. Took 4 months to do. 6, 12, 18. Yeah. This is gonna take longer. I'm not gonna get any sleep tonight because it's 11 o'clock on the dot for me. Honestly, that's what it used to be like until they stopped including every Pokemon. So I was just like, you know what? It's just nice to, in some way, shape or form, if they ever add them back in, to just be able to get them, because sometimes they don't add them in to be able to catch, but they're still in the game. So, say like some of the Hisuian forms in Scarlet and Violet, you can't catch them, but you can bring them back in. So as long as I have one, I can always bring them into the game, because it seems like that's the way they're going at the minute. I take it you're British. Oh, and also if you're into shiny hunting, I will say it made getting the shiny charm in Shine and Pearl way easier. Because I literally just took every Pokemon up to Gen 4 and dumped them in. And then just took them back out. Hey, you're up late, to be fair. got the British squad on. Yeah, I just dumped them in, took them straight back out, and that was just shiny charm ready. Both in Leaf Green. I'm assuming they were full odds as well. Because I think it was Gen 5 that added the shiny charm. And I very vividly remember my first shiny was a shiny Bronzong just before I got out to the end of Spear Pillar. No, it was just after I caught Dialga in Pokemon Diamond. And I was going back down because you can't escape rope out from the top of Spear Pillar. Or like fly from the top of Spear Pillar. And I found a shiny Bronzong, and that was... Although I had played Gen 2, I thought that was a specific coded thing that Gyarados was always going to be red, which it was. But like that was the only time you could get a different colour Pokemon until I saw a green Bronzong, which sadly ended up losing that copy of Pokemon Diamond. Why do I keep checking? Just keep getting eggs until they hatch. Ended up losing that copy of Diamond, and I do want to do like a redemption of finding it in that spot again, but that would be like after I get a DS capture card or something. I used to, yeah, random shinies. I think I got one in like every generation up until Sun and Moon, I want to say. But then Sun and Moon were also the first ones where I deliberately finished the decks and got a shiny charm because SOS chaining was my favourite way to shiny hunt. Because you could just, you'd let it go and you could put your DS to sleep, come back and just infinitely chain them if you set the Pokemon up right. Because I think it was something like, I think I had a Trevenant or something with Harvest and getting the berry so it didn't go into struggle and things like that. Oh, from Gen 5. I mean, what's your favourite Pokemon then? From Gen 5? Because I had some interesting ones, considering Gen 5 was like the reset generation pretty much. Because that was the one in original Black and White where you could only see Gen 5 Pokemon until you got the National Dex, I think. Honestly, Sun and Moon, best generation to shiny hunt still to this day. Not great games by any means, but the shiny hunt. And some of the shinies are got in it too. Sawsbuck is a solid Pokemon just because the different forms make it interesting, and the fact that it constantly change. Yeah, I do want to go back and play Gen 4 properly. Oh, one more. Preemptively went to finish that. I want to go back and play White 2 so I can say I've properly played Gen 5, because it was just such a good fleshed out world. It was the first game that actually made gym leaders have jobs that contributed to the world as a whole. I like to think that describes me as like, I am tall and short. I'm pretty average height. Maybe slightly smaller than average. I'm like 5'6", 5'7", something around there. Probably closer to 5'6". And if you want that in meters, I don't know. I think the camera just does me justice. But honestly, I count everything as a bonus because my mum and dad aren't tall by any means. I think my mum's 5'1" and my dad's 5 something shorter than me. I'll take average. Painfully average is what I strive for. Set that bar nice and low, so if you get over it, it's just a win. And also, I'm going to double check this. I mean, depends where you live. If you've got like American milk growth hormone stuff flowing through you, it's maybe taller. Although, to be fair, I do think I am quite short. Let's do this count. 6, 12, 18. 18 plus 5, 23, 20. Yeah, I'm still counting right. Yeah, it really depends who you talk to for height wise, because it is definitely one of those, everyone thinks they're average. But I just know so many people are taller than me that I just go, I'm probably short. I've accepted it as a fact in my life. Yeah, God knows what's going on with kids these days. God, I feel old just saying that. Yeah, kids are just the too tall. But I knew a lad going through school who was 6 foot in like year 9. So, you know, just, I want to say some people are freaks, but I feel like that's way more average. Plus genetics are just getting stronger. I just got shafted by some poor genetics from like the English, Irish and Greek side. See, that was your first mistake, was just going out into public in the first place. You can get cookies on demand now. You can order as many cookies for delivery, or you get fancy cookies and get them for delivery, and then you feel even better. You get a cookie cake, even better. Just always order in. If COVID gave us anything, it's being able to order whatever you want to your doorstep in an instant. Yeah, I think, I would say year 7, year 8-ish was about the last time I felt average size. And then, yeah, everyone just took over me. Can buy cookies and we'll just chill and buy cookies, get the ice cream Pokemon, and that's a chill night. We got cookies and ice cream. That's a win-win. And now we're on to this. On to not being able to take one step without an egg hatching. Which, honestly, I don't know why they changed for Scarlet and Violet. Because if you notice, because I did Masuda, I want to say Froakie. They made it so there's like a cooling off period, so you have to walk a little bit, even if all the eggs land in your party at the same time. Maybe not this one. Not Milcery, but definitely Alcremie. Rainbow Swale Alcremie, I'd shove a spoon in and eat happily. It's pretty much whenever I feel like it, because I've still got a full-time job at the end of the day. So if I've got the energy, I just jump on and stream. That is... Okay, that's a solid question. Is Alcremie actually... Also, another one. An ice cream? Or if you actually cut it up, would it be meat? Because it's a living creature. I don't know. Because I know there are inanimate objects. So it is fully in the realm of possibility that it could just be possessed ice cream. Because that, when in doubt, if a Pokemon's an item, it's possessed. Yeah. I want to say ice cream just for the sake of... Like I say, everything's pretty much possessed. Also, you've got Bounce Sweet, which is just a fruit and it smells sweet. And then plants... Okay, yeah. I think I'm slowly convincing myself that it will just be meat if you cut into it. Meat ice... Ooh. I had an immediate reaction of like, no. No meat ice cream. Then I thought, salty and savoury, like... So, I'm one of those... not salty and savoury. Salty and sweet are a solid flavour combination. And I'm the kind of person that will dip the McDonald's chips into the milkshake and enjoy it. And people shove bacon in that in milkshakes, which I haven't done. But I can imagine similar kind of like mix of flavours. So it might work a meat ice cream. And yeah, I feel like I'd like Fido more than I'd like Dash Bun. Just because I'm the type of person that likes a good undercooked cookie. So the closer it can get to cookie dough, the better. Do a tier list of Pokemon I eat, like which one would be the best. Yeah, they did it. I feel like they've had a couple, but Magikarp's the one everyone remembers just because they literally laid it out on a plate and showed that they ate it. But I feel like they've mentioned that they eat more Pokemon in the anime than just Magikarp. Yeah. See, you're adding layers now. Like, literally. So you'd have the ice cream on the outside, like, it may actually be made of ice cream. But then it does still have to sustain itself. It's not just... It's not breaking the laws of physics. It's not producing energy from nothing. Hey, all right, bud, we're getting into some weird conversations. You jumped in at a fun point. Yeah. So if you eat all the ice cream, are you just left with essentially a naked Alcremie? Kind of. Like, holes in terms of the Magikarp, yeah. Or technically shoving things into the face hole. See, I feel like early on, they do say, like in Pokedex entries, stuff like, why do I keep checking? Nothing's hatching. They do reference normal animals. But I feel like more modern Pokemon avoids that in general, so they have to eat Pokemon. Like, they have Miltank, but as soon as a Miltank isn't useful, do they just chop it up for meat? Is that only the Tauros that they do it with? Because like I said, they definitely do it with Magikarp. Yeah, you are on a mission to dress up as Dashbun. Ooh, deep fried torchic. See, no, then you get into, okay, also, good point, deep fried torchic leg. But would you then evolve it? Because a combustion leg would have more meat on it. And I've been counting, I'm just going to finish hatching these and then count it. But you've also then got to think a Blaziken leg with all the gigging would then have more meat on it. So it's a farm in the Pokemon world essentially them evolving Pokemon to get more meat and more food. Almost bought it. Should have bought it. Yeah. It's like you just become friends with the Pokemon and evolve them so you can then eat them. Like you're essentially gaslighting a Pokemon to evolve, to eat and get more food. True. They do have rare candies and like the XP candies. Which, it depends. I'm taking this from the side of like maybe the anime. And I don't know if they're canonically in the anime. But definitely if we're going off like game logic, they just do that. Because you're not getting like friendship evolutions, you know. You're not just catching a load of Zubat, getting them to Golbat, and then being like, hey, we're best friends. Here's all the protein, I'll shove it down your throat. Or like the vitamins to make them friends. I feel like Blaziken's legs are deceptive because it's just a tube. Like, you need to know how much of that is feathers. Like, is it gonna work sort of like a Pomeranian where you shave it all and it's actually really skinny, or is that just like literally a top layer of feathers? Also, I've hatched all them. It would fight back too much, but also think if it was effective, we'd make a process for it. Or we just evolved them to be really weak, but still have tons of meat on the legs. Do selective breeding and stuff like that. Considering people already selectively breed for shinies, why would we not selectively breed them to be weak? We do IVs as well. So you selectively breed them with the worst IVs possible, so they're weak, but they're still physically bigger, so they have chunkier legs. That's a win-win. It did take a real strong turn. And I'm fully losing it. I've lost count. Where are we up to? At least 30, 33, 34. 30, okay. I need to just like take a second because I got too involved in that in my own head. You have to heal, but what happens if you don't heal it? Yeah, okay, Orange, exactly what I was saying. If a Miltank stops producing milk, then it's useless. And if it's on a farm, it's not bred for battling, it's bred for milk. It's useless in battling. So it's only good for meat, unless it's a family pet. That is my point exactly. Yes, we got into some weird conversations back when I was the insanity of doing the decks originally. And before I even thought like uploading the VODs, I was like, yeah, the VODs will disappear. Let's let stuff get weird. Good prime Miltank meat. Then, okay, but we're thinking like normal, like chicken, beef. There's also seafood. And you gotta think that some stuff might be pointless to evolve, like I was saying, combustion legs. Who knows if Blaziken legs are better? But you've got like Clawitzer and Clauncher. One of those is clearly better to evolve and eat, like no question. You get a giant Clauncher claw. That's twice the size of a Clawitzer on its own. Seafood's a whole different question. Yeah, because Gyarados is weirdly, like, it looks prawnish. It doesn't look like it tastes like a normal fish, even though it comes from Magikarp. Yeah, which ones I'd eat, which ones I wouldn't, and also what I think they taste like. And I'm just thinking about this now. You'd get some weird ones because some of them might seem obvious. Some of them you might be like, oh, shelled just tastes like shellfish, but it is just it's a black bowl. What would that black mass inside the shell taste like? Would it just taste like a ghastly? They look the same, but it's just a ball of gas. It's really not. Not weird in the slightest. I do know people with like weird things like that. Like, I will admit, I do like a good bit of venison just because it's lean beef, but that falls in the weird, like, I feel like I could kill most animals and eat them. But that's a weird line where I love the meat, but I don't feel like I could kill the animal. Where I know a few people have like the rule of like, if it's cute, I just can't. So some people will eat pigs because they're not a cute animal, but they find chickens cute, so they won't eat chicken. Like, I think the one off the top of my head is Danny from Game Grumps. Won't eat cute animals. Because I think that was the first place I learned it, and then I just started bringing that up to people. But my rules generally being, if I think I could kill the animal and still eat it, that's fine. Unless it's venison. Even then, I'm acting like I have venison all the time. I rarely don't. Like, I don't actually buy it for myself. Yeah, so they got the idea. Don't touch the deer. Can't remember to do these. Move them to the right place. How long have I been live for? Almost an hour. I might actually get to bed at a decent time. I've still got it. I'm gonna try and evolve them all on Steam. On Steam? On stream. Words. I might not last until I evolve them. I'm already mentally losing it and talking about animals that like to eat. Not animals, Pokemon. Which I feel like there's probably been so many YouTube videos already covered. I'm so tempted. I mean, the UK? But I'm from Liverpool. I'm Scouser, born and bred. I hate that term. Honestly, I'm not one for any kind of like hometown, national pride, whatever. It's something I don't get to choose, so why have pride in it? I can like the people surrounding me. I can like how I was brought up, but I didn't get to choose where I was born, so don't really take pride in it. Now, bits of like the Greek culture I was brought up with and Irish culture, take pride in them. I got to choose to be a part of them. But especially, I'm not a big like football fan, and that is huge Liverpool culture. So I just missed a lot of culture growing up because I just didn't care about it. People kick ball in net. I'm like, whoa. Everyone else is happy. I'll cheer. That's about as far as it went. (25 past 11). I'm starting to hatch more. Like, yeah. That is my... Not to sport in general. Because I can get into playing sports. I just don't... I don't get the fan part of sports, like even esports, I don't really get unless you're playing. If it's going until 5 a.m, my alarm's gonna go off for work half an hour later. So hopefully not till 5 a.m. I think I might do a few evolutions on stream and just see how far it goes. I'm definitely gonna hatch all the alchemy on stream. Just for the sake of if one comes up shiny, it would be perfect way to end it. Yeah, the having a good time is the main issue I have, because I can't fully get into sports because people just get angry at each other for no reason. I'm just like, but why? Why are you angry that the guys on TV are winning and you chose to support the wrong side? I get it when people put bets on it because you have a personal investment, but when people are just angry because they're like, the place I was born, the team from there is losing. It's like, but you actually have no investment. What? Okay. I'll tell you a bit about myself. What do you want to know? I'm an open book. I'll answer any question, as long as it doesn't get too weird. You can probe, but don't probe in the wrong areas, if you get what I mean. That's a different type of stream on a very different type of site. Yeah, you find a list of questions that don't put me on a list, and I'm happy to answer. You know, sometimes you just think, yeah, I should shut up, and like it sounds funny in my head. Yeah, whatever. We'll leave that there. 30, 36, 42, 43, 44. Sweet, 44. We're getting close now. This is technically what I'm counting as phase 2 of hunting all these down. How come you're... Oh, because I forgot to turn it on. Hey Google, live. I think that's... There we go. Because it's voice commanded and I don't physically turn it on, so half the time I just forget. But not Pokemon related. See, I've got a few. What do I want to go with? Short or long? I mean, my long-term goal, like we're talking real long-term, is to just not work. Ever. Which is just a case of make enough money to save that it just pays me in interest, dividends, whatever makes it. Whatever makes that happen, I'm happy with. And recently with YouTube kicking off, that's brought in some short-term goals which could help work towards that. It's like if I just have fun doing YouTube stuff, I'd count that as not working. Which short-term for that is just try and like go towards 1,000 subs, because that is, if you didn't know, to partner with YouTube, they have like technically they have 3 criteria for it. One is like you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and then one of 2 goals, which I think one of them definitely only came in because of shorts, because it's related to shorts, which is you need to have at least 4,000 public watch hours or 1 million views on shorts videos. And right now I've got, what have I actually got now? Let's check, because I've definitely shot over 4,000 watch hours, which it just helps that my first video was stupidly long. Overview. Oh no. What tab am I on? 13,000 watch hours. So shot over the 4,000, so it's just a creep towards 1,000, which is just kind of, if I keep having fun with it. I'm happy, and that's kind of my short-term goal. Not married, thankfully, although I am getting around that age. I'm only 26, but I'm now getting invited to a lot more weddings than I was a few months ago. So I know I'm getting around that age where a lot of my friends are starting to get a bit more serious about relationships, or they're just not. So thankfully single at the minute, which doesn't make paying for this house any easier, but hey, they're all complaining about they can't do certain things because they're in relationships, so I count my blessings that I can do whatever I want. So past the marriage age. Yeah. Creeping into that. This is what baffles me. So it's only just starting to get talked about marriage, but I'm single right now. I still get asked about kids. I don't feel like I'm anywhere near the kids' age. But then I was talking with people in work the other day, and it's so bizarre, the fact to think about, like, my parents had me, and I'm the youngest of three, when they were younger than me, I think, or close to my age. That's bizarre. And when they were like 17, 18, we're thinking about like house and kids and everything like that. It's a completely different realm of possibility years ago. Yeah, there's no certain age for marriage, but I feel like there's an age where it starts to become more of a question of like, so when? Oh, best place to get ice cream. It's going to be very specific because I've got family over in Cyprus, because that's where my Greek heritage is from. I'm Cypriot, not technically Greek, but they get very offended if people say they're from Greece. And the ice cream over there is in a whole different realm because it's fresh and you can get so many different flavors. And the one me and my family always kind of like reference is the fact that we went into one ice cream shop once. I think it was called like honey and lemon or something along those lines. And we were looking at the flavors, and for some reason there was like Hello Kitty flavor, Facebook flavor, and me just being curious, I was like, what the hell does Facebook taste like? So I had to get it. Turned out it was just bubblegum, but they just go mental with flavors over there. And the actual just fruit ice cream is the best. It's not like sorbet, it's still properly fruit ice cream. Yeah, you're not forcing anything like that. Like, that was me just... Okay, so the whole marriage and relationship thing, I always say no relationships I had in secondary were ever serious in the slightest, really. So, and since school, I haven't really had relationships. So I'd say I've never really been in one. And then when you see everyone around you in relationships, you're like, oh, maybe I should. It feels like it's just something people do. So, yeah, at some point I was like, well, never really been in one. I just accepted life and just realised some things, like I said, people complain like, oh, they do this or they do that, and it's just complain that they can do stuff, they can't do stuff. And I was like, I have freedoms where they don't. Yes, I'm missing out some stuff. There's a win and lose no matter what boat you're in, so just accept where you're at. Okay, last thing in the Google. That's a curious one, because it'll be on my phone considering I've been out all day. Yeah. And this, it kind of ties into your short-term, long-term goal question. It's coming back to an idea I had for a YouTube video, which was, it has to do with having all of the Pokemon games available on Switch. So it is me looking up, like, I think the only ones I'm missing are Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, because I managed to get every other game. So yeah, my last thing in my Sage history was what cost they come to, which is actually about the cost of one copy of Scarlet or Violet. Which, if that video happens, it should be interesting, especially a spin I can put on it at the end, because I'm always trying to think of the story element of how I'd piece a video together, not just being like, this seems like it will take ages. That doesn't make a good video. If I can spin a story with it, that's what makes it interesting, at least for me. Yeah, no right size fits all, and then if you try and rush it, you might go into... I feel like the freaking whiplash of these two conversations going at the same time is interesting. Yeah, you try and rush into a relationship, you might just end up in a bad one. And that's not good for either person. And then if kids come into the conversation, oh, no. I'm definitely... I mean, if you want another question that you didn't ask, well, I'm not a kid person in the slightest right now. Like, I just about deal with my nephews. Am I a rainbow? If I feel like that's what you're referring to, definitely strongly on the side of a rainbow, but not a rainbow myself. If that's what you mean. I feel like I'm reading between the lines correctly there. Which, for me, that time of year is coming up for Liverpool at the end of this month, and I'm so excited to go. Do I feel like I relate to the month of June? No. I guess. I am very much a winter baby. Like, as much as I have like Greek roots, I'm not a summer person at all. Like, I always jokingly say I'm the palest Greek you will ever meet. But yeah, I just love winter. I love those rainy nights in. Just like rain on the windows, house is nice, warm, cozy, some games or like something on the TV and just chilling on the couch wrapped in a blanket. That is like my ideal night. It does for other people in my life. I actually can't rarely watch RuPaul's Drag Race. How far am I in Milcery's? Although I will say, people have introduced me to some of like the people who've been on the show, have made music from it. Some of the songs they've made are actually really good. Like, not what I'd expect of my taste, because my taste is very like heavier towards the rock and metal side sort of thing. But some of the songs they came out with are actually really catchy. I just end up playing them in the car while I'm driving around. And I had no idea who you mean by Dorothy. Yeah, that's the hardest bit. That's the best bit of summer, is being able to wake up with the sun in the window. Like, you don't have to force yourself to wake up, where the winter, waking up and it's still dark and you feel like you should just stay in bed, but you know you've got to get out because your whole sense of time is skewed. And then you end up... The thing that kills me is, especially when the days are so short, I'll get to work and it's dark, and then I'll leave work and it's dark, and the only time I've seen the sun is through a window. That is the hardest bit, I think, about winter. But then everything else I love about winter. I love nice rainy days, and I love the chance of snow. Yeah, it describes me. I am a strong ally of rainbows. If it helps, brother's a rainbow, and I was the best man at that rainbow's wedding. Would have ended up being on both sides if it wasn't for the fact that I was clearly related to one over the other. Fully a safe space. Hate the bitch. To be fair, that bitch causes cancer. I've got to stop going into this menu. Actually, no, I still need to go into the menu. Yeah, fuck the bitch that causes cancer. No one likes cancer. That is the reason we stay indoors and we play games. Because fuck the sun. It's harder to catch skin cancer through a window than it is in direct sunlight. So just have your blinds open and you're good. You're getting your vitamin D for the day. As I constantly got told when I was growing up. For some reason, that was a big thing when I was growing up, was you need to go outside and get your vitamin D. I feel like that was my mum and dad's version of go touch grass, was them telling me to get vitamin D. I'm only putting 2 and 2 together now. Oh, sun bleach and stuff as well. Just ruins all your nice things. Oh, here's something that I didn't realise could happen. So, the shelves behind me, like, there's glass in between the glass shelves. I just woke up one day and just heard crashing and assumed someone was breaking into my house. So in a panic, I'm walking around every room going, okay, no one's here. But then I'm like trying to figure out what the sound was, because it was the sound of just stuff falling. Because it was glass smashing. So I assumed someone came through a window. And then I just walk into here, glass all over the floor. And if I tilt the camera down, I've got grey carpet. Light grey carpet. Is that back normal? Yeah. So I'm trying to pick glass shards out of a light grey carpet, and at some point I'm like, let's just get the Hoover out. One of the worst decisions I could have done. Worst and best. Because it just started tearing up the soft bit of the Hoover that's meant to like pull up like pet hair and stuff like that. So I had to take all the attachments off and just... It took me an hour and a half to clean up. Oh yeah, sorry. The other context of this. So the sun rises through the window and shines onto the shelf. And apparently, if that glass gets too hot, it just explodes. And I've got video of it literally like popping. The glass was still popping 2 hours afterwards. I didn't know that could be a thing. So, it'd be an interesting reason to break into someone's house, I'll give you that. Although I fully lost train of thought there. Yeah, then I will give it, so it's an IKEA shelf. Rang them as soon as it opened, because this was like also 6:30 in the morning. I woke up to that sound. Very disoriented at 6:30. Cleaned it all up and then had to ring IKEA at like 8 o'clock. And I will say, they sorted it by midday. I was actually surprised. So I had like a voucher to buy a whole nother shelf. So instead, I just bought a different shelf and just made sure I closed the blinds in the morning. So I just got a free shelf, essentially, to put all my consoles on. I was made up. So now I can get all my old consoles, like my Wii and my Xbox 360 and stuff like that. And I can start maybe playing them on stream if I want to get like real nostalgic. One thing I hope never changes about myself. Ooh, we're getting deeper with them now. Yeah, apparently the shelf thing is a weirdly common thing to happen. I'm really digging into the back of my head for something that I wouldn't want to do. Because there are a lot of things, but I'm trying to think what is the most important. And I feel like I'm very honest with people. But I feel, yeah, I feel like just how honest I can be with people. Also with a caveat of I usually judge whether they can take it or not. Like, if I think someone can take criticism, I'll tell them wholeheartedly what I think and not care. But then there's people like, so I know my dad can get very defensive, so I won't say everything to him that I think. Well, at least without prefacing it. Let's see. One more and I'll be at 60. So I think about 59. Yeah, blunt within reason, I think, is the way I'd put it. And there's 60. Oh, comfort zone. That the one that comes to mind straight away. And keep it in mind that I said like I'm into my rock music and everything. The one time I've been completely out my comfort zone was at like an electronic like EDM festival, which you're from the UK. If you've ever heard of Creamfields, it was Creamfields because, random fact, my neighbour next door, her daughter married the guy who originally ran Creamfields. So I just got free tickets to go. I was like, oh yeah, sick. And then all my mates were up for going as well, and it was great. But the comfort zone bit was just like, you only fully enjoy a festival when everyone is out the comfort zone. No one's got like any bravado that they're trying to hold up. You're all hot, sweaty, disgusting messes, and you're all in it for the long haul, just enjoying the music and close proximity. And as long as no one's being a dick, it's great. Except for the random time that I was just like in the middle of the crowd. I can't remember what set it was or who was playing, but just a suitcase of all things. Like, we're talking hand luggage that you take on a plane just comes flying through the air. God knows why, and then just hits someone in the head and knocks them straight out. They're the moments that you don't want in the middle of a crowd if it wasn't obvious. That's 63. Creamfield is a fake name. Oh, wait, no, wait, you're not wrong about that, are you? I feel like I've seen that. Yeah. Oh, God, I feel like... Yeah, because all this out of context. I just read what you said with the chat being in the video. Yeah, it is a bit weird, but I might work on that because I've worked a lot on how I like things to display. So I might actually work that into... It needs to still look at my style, which I feel like is why I haven't done it so far. Oh, my favourite scent. I can't even describe it. It's a scent that always reminds me of being a kid. And it's something like a fake air freshener smell or something. It's not a natural smell. But it just sends me back to playing like Pokemon Yellow on long car trips. And specifically one moment of... So, to put the context to it, Game Boy Color, obviously no backlight. Green Game Boy Color, Pokemon Yellow, late at night. And I was in the Viridian City gym fighting Erica. And I didn't know what move I was picking until I'd go past the lamppost and the light would shine down on the screen so I could see what move I was picking. Like, that's how vivid that memory is. So every lamppost I go past, I'd be like, click it and hope for the best. And then just when the light would shine on the screen, I'd... Wait. I'm past all the Milcery I needed. I've got 63. I'm just hatching the extras. I'm glad I kept on with this. I just saw the black eyes and I knew straight away. What? Literally. Okay, the odds of that. I only wanted 63, so if I would have only got 63 eggs, I wouldn't have got the shiny. The fact that I accidentally got some more. Eat it. To be fair, it's a delicacy. That's like caviar. That. Jesus Christ. I wasn't expecting it. I was half expecting it, but not now. I thought we were all like set in. Yeah, I was about to like jump off after I had the 63 as well. I feel like I'm gonna finish these and then jump off just in case. The question is, I kind of want that to be an extra for the video. So, I know I'm going to want it rainbow swirl, but what sweet do I put on it? I feel like it's got to be star or ribbon, but which of the two? I'm loving these questions. Because there's stuff that I didn't realise about myself until I actually thought about it. There's one, and it's annoying because I really want to get into the food. But it's a smell of a curry. I don't know what it is about a curry, but that smell just makes me want to throw up. But everything about a good curry just sounds so appetizing. Other than that, there's the classic stuff of like other people throwing up, the smell of shit. Like the classic stuff. Okay, let's run through all the forms because I have notes on this stuff that I've had to keep track of. There's the strawberry sweet, the berry sweet, the love sweet, the clover sweet, the flower sweet, the star sweet, and the ribbon sweets. They're the things that appear on the top of the ears, and then there's the vanilla cream, the ruby cream, the matcha cream, the mint cream, the lemon cream, the salted cream, the ruby swirl, the caramel swirl, and the rainbow swirl. I think the rainbow swirl just seems like the obvious choice. Even though it won't show up, it'll be Dex-wise. But, like, star or ribbon sweets. I think I might go star just because it's shiny. I guess I'll take a guy who'd like a curry as a compliment. It's one of those things, I feel like, because I've come round to... Oh, wait. Have I hatched all them? Yeah, strong. I mean, that's another reason to go for the rainbow swirl. Strong ally. Go with the rainbows. I need to double check that I put the shiny one in there. Yeah, the shiny Milcery's in there, and none of the others hatched as shiny. So I can release these. But yeah, I feel like the more I'd probably be around, like, the smell of curry nut, I could probably get used to it. Because if it's not a smell and, like, a taste, that makes me throw up. It used to be nuts. Anything nuts-wise would just make me gag. But the more I've tried to... Talking about this around, like, the ally stuff. The more I've tried to have nuts, the more I've gotten used to them, pretty much, which I feel like that's a solid note to end on. Wait, Orange, I've just caught one bit of your message. Condoms. Okay, I get that. It just took me off guard. I haven't tried 2 nuts at once, but you know what? For you, I may. But that's a story for another stream. It is 5 to 12. I have work tomorrow and conversation's getting way too weird. So I feel like that's a solid place to leave it. Yeah. That was an interesting stream. With the shiny and the questions, I had a really good time on that one, I'll be honest. It got weird and it got fun. I feel like that's like the drunken chat without having an actual drink in hand. Yeah, I feel like this is another reason I need to have chat on screen. I just stop and read a message for a while. Yeah, I love me a bit of spice. But yeah, that's where I leave it. Cheers for coming, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. I need to know where you got those questions, Orange, by the way. Or just be ready to bring them next time. Anything you want to know, you've got warning now. Dig as deep as you want to, you know I'll answer them. But yeah, cool. I will catch you later. I will shove some music on in the background because I have a little end screen that I do at the end of the VODs. There we go. And I'll catch you soon. See you later. and turn off the mic. Bye.